Alright, today we're talking about gaming memories, and to start off, we're talking about Far Cry 4. This was the first game I ever beat in my own time. I think I was probably 9 or 8 when I beat this. The reason I initially got it is because I did a strep test at CVS, and I was like looking through the toy section because that's how you bribe kids to do things at the doctor. And she was like, okay, well, why don't you just get that game that you wanted? I was like, shit, okay. So I got this, and I remember knocking on my sister's door and waking her up to be like, I beat this game for the first time. And she didn't care, but it holds a special place in your heart for a reason. For the next two games, I actually don't know where they are. They might be in boxes somewhere from moving, and I just didn't put them on the shelf. But the first two games I ever bought when I got my Xbox were Sunset Overdrive and Portal 2, because I had a GameStop gift card, and I remember ordering them online and just waiting by the door like every day to get them there. Portal 2 was really damn hard for me as a kid. Like that, I don't think I ever got through that until I was much older. But yeah, I mean, that's a game I heard a lot about, so that was really fun. And Sunset Overdrive was probably too inappropriate for me to play at that age, but that was also a fun game that I also never got through because it was kind of difficult. Next up, we're talking about Watch Dogs 1, the fake GTA game that everyone played. I remember also getting this from my mom, and we went into GameStop because it was like $10. And I mean, I didn't get games very often when I was a kid, so I remember the GameStop employee like having to warn her about the nudity and violence or whatever, and she just gave me this look of despair and disappointment, and I was just like, "Yowie." So, yeah, I mean, I have no reason to ever play this. Like, it's not that fun. It actually takes place in Chicago, which I thought was really cool. I remember going on the bridges and just making everyone fall off and whatever. So, I mean, I had my fun with it, and I had a lot of fun with the second one as well. So, next game I want to talk about is kind of random, and that's Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I would go to my friend's house over the summer, like every day during the week, because my sister would watch all of us, and we decided to go to Half Price Books, which I don't know if they're everywhere, but it's like a book and entertainment store and whatever, and they sell used games there. And I found a whole PS2 for $20, and my friend's mom gave us each like a $30-ish limit, I think it was, and I got this and a PS2 for like $35. And I remember going home and like plugging into this really old box TV we had and playing it, and I didn't have a oh my god, what is it called? I didn't have a memory card, so I would just leave it on all day. But it came like complete in box and everything. Came with like the little guide, which I miss these. And it came with like a thing to mail for like a newsletter or something. And I've always wondered like what would happen if I mailed this. But I've always been too scared to. But I think some of my other PS2 games have one, so maybe that's a fun video idea to see what I get back from that. Now, I could talk about more Xbox games that I just remember playing. Like, I remember buying Sims 4 for way more than I should have bought it for at Target for like $60. Or I remember like having a lot of fun with that with my friends. But I'm going to go the quarantine route, and we're going to talk about Animal Crossing, which I got for my birthday of 2020 when I first got my Switch. And this was the first game I got for it. And man, like, if you weren't there for this game in 2020, you just don't get it, because the community of this game was insane. I remember going to other people's islands to buy stuff, to sell turnips like I was buying stock. It was insane. But 600 hours later, I just tune in every once in a while. It's not as fun. It had a fun DLC to it. But yeah, incredible memories with this game. And I probably won't play another Animal Crossing just because they take a lot of time, but so be it. And then another game I was playing during quarantine was Red Dead Redemption 2. Sadly, I lost the map, but yeah, another game that I beat. And this game, honestly, as everyone says, kind of like changed my life, because I never really cared about acting before, but when I got to the ending and saw what happened to Arthur Morgan, I remember just bawling my eyes out and being like, damn, like, you can do this for a living. Like, you can play a character and be in these games. And it really pushed me to, like, appreciate artistic things a lot more. So, like, I'm always thankful for this game, even though now I feel like I just don't care about it. I never touch it. Like, if I'm gonna play like a GTA type game, I'm just gonna play GTA. Which, speaking of GTA, perfect transition here. Bully. There's not too much about this game. I just remember watching YouTubers play it. But the story of how I got this game, I would go to this like bowling alley with my mom on Wednesdays sometimes because she would go to like her pool league. And I remember I would always play that like stacker game where you have to like stack the blocks up and whatever, because they had an arcade there, like a really, really small arcade. But one of the prizes was a $25 Best Buy gift card. And that's what I got. And I got this with it. So, I mean, this one's always just fun to get because it just has like a story to it. And Bully was a fun game. I beat it. And I mean, like, you know, nothing special, but the story of how I got it is much more special, and that's why I think you should always buy games in a more interesting way, or like go to different places or whatever. Like, I go to mostly game stores, like small mom and pop places, to get my games now rather than like Target or Walmart or whatever. So yeah, that's just what I want to talk about today. So thanks for watching.